The worlds of art and science will inevitably meet in the future. Scientists describe science as the intellectual and practical undertaking encompassing the methodical investigation of the physical world structure as well as its behavior through experiments. The expression or application of human creative genius and imagination, particularly in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, creating works that are prized primarily for their beauty or emotional impact, this is the art according to the glossary definitions. If a scientific or technological advance becomes widely accepted, society will begin to use it for artistic and aesthetic purposes. Consider the photography. Creative genres are always connected with a certain medium or a number of diverse arts. It is possible to apply color, metal, or paint to a hard substance, but it's also possible to paint with the same materials. Writing with light is what photography entails. Photographers rely on light constantly. The use of light to document the world around. Every image is the result of a capture of a certain condition of the visible light spectrum. But what is light exactly? There are natural and artificial sources of light. You may get light from both your room's incandescent light bulb and the sun. In the electromagnetic spectrum, visible light refers to the portion that we can see. Modern digital cameras include sensors that focus on the same wavelengths of light as we do. There are 5 characteristics of any light source that have an impact on the quality of its light: direction, intensity, color, contrast, and hardness. Direction. The direction of the light is one of the most important aspects in creating a sense of form and texture in an image. Which is the source of it? Is it approaching topic of photographer interest from the front, the side, or the back? The width of the shadow is determined by the direction of the light source, and the shadows provide information about form and texture. When it comes to producing fascinating shadows, lighting and shadow work hand in hand. With lighting, you must also consider the shadows that are cast in a scene to get the best possible results. Why? The three-dimensional vision is the way the human eye processes information around. Only height and width are visible to the human eye on a computer screen. To impart depth to a scene, shadows must be added, allowing the eye to view stereoscopically. Intensity. To what degree are your light sources intense? Are the lights on? Lighting intensity can have an impact on the final image's appearance. You may create a variety of moods and effects by varying the intensity of the light. Visuals might be spectacular or entirely washed out depending on the strength of the light source. Lighting may be utilized to portray a specific atmosphere in filmmaking. Point lights are ideal for creating a bright day scene that provides light in every direction. Set the point light's intensity to 150% or thereabouts so that the brightness is evenly distributed around the screen. Spotlights, on the other hand, are ideal for illuminating a nighttime scene, such as a faint street light. A 60% effort level is a good starting point. When it comes to light intensity, there isn't a set point. You have to have a sense of what seems correct. Color. What hue of light do you need to enhance a scene? When it comes to narrative, color is everything. There are a variety of ways it might be used. Even a piece of significance may be determined by the color of light it is illuminated by. Lighting may be utilized for creative purposes as well. Basically, the hue of the light tells your viewers a lot about the setting they're actually in. Contrast. Light travels in a way that it gets dimmer as it spreads out. A scene contrast is the ratio of its dark and bright components, the black and the white one. When the intensity of the light is stronger on one side of the topic than the other, this effect is formed. Highlights and shadows are depicted in this effect. The highlights and shadows of a scene are often defined by the contrast between light and dark. The lights, midtones, and darks lie in the area between the lights and lows of the image. The more shadows you add, the more contrast you get. The image is excessively contrasted if the shadows are too black. The boundaries of the shadows may be changed by moving a light source in and out. These photos include a wide range of tones from dazzling highlights to dark shadows. Instead, photographs with low contrast have a narrow spectrum of tones. Light quality, hard and soft shadows. The borders of the shadows can be regarded as either firm or soft, depending on the quality of the light. When the size of the light source is less than the size of the subject, hard shadows are formed. When the light source is larger than the subject, it casts a soft shadows. Another aspect that impacts the light softness or harshness is its distance from the subject. The light's intensity decreases by 1/4 when the distance between the light source and the subject is doubled. The light intensity rises by 4 times when the distance between the light source and your topic is halved. The shadows might be employed as a narrative device. They could reveal key details about the situation. On sunny days, for example, the shadows are generally distinct and black because of the sun's powerful light. In the lighting industry, this is known as hard lighting. When it's overcast outside, the shadows and edges become less distinct. It is caused by the sun's bright light being diffused by several layers of clouds. This type of lighting is known as soft lighting. Cover temperature and cover rendering. The correct light's cover temperature should be determined by the location and purpose for which we will be used. The warmth or coolness of light is what we mean by cover temperature. Warm light is more yellow, whereas colder light is more blue in color. A white LED is not a standard LED. Because of the contrast between the warmth of candlelight and the coolness of midday sunlight, candlelight is clearly the warmer option. White light's cover temperature may be measured using a scale called the Kelvin scale. The lower the cover temperature, the warmer the white light is. Candles have a Kelvin temperature of about 2000, but the average for daylight is between 5500 and 6500 kelvins. There are a wide variety of LEDs available. However, the most common are in the 2700 kelvins to 2800 kelvins range. 2700 to 3000 kelvins is warm and 4000 to 5000 kelvin is chilly. There are certain misunderstandings concerning LEDs that some people hold. LEDs, in their opinion, provide a chilly, unattractive glow. Using 4000 Kelvin power grade LEDs in the past has very probably influenced this behavior. Cover temperature selection necessitates careful consideration of space finishes and color scheme. Warm white light enhances the beauty of reds, oranges, yellows, and wood. Blues and grays, on the other hand, might appear flat. White might appear crisp when set against a cool white background. There is a downside to this. Red and yellow might appear a touch brown, and wood can appear a little dreary. Tunable white light fixtures have been appearing in recent years. This allows you to fine-tune the intensity of light's warmth. The ability to alter the temperature of the light to match the picture's color scheme is a huge benefit when it comes to illuminating artwork. The way light falls on a person's face or object is determined by the pattern of light falling on the subject. Photographers often use one of 4 types of portrait lighting: split, Rembrandt, loop, and butterfly, which can be combined with broad and short lighting. Mastering portrait requires the ability to spot highlights and shadows on a subject's face or to the object itself by studying the way light falls on the scene. cooler lights in the kitchen or bathroom may be a good idea in your house, especially if there is lots of natural light. Compared to daylight, warm white lights may make white surfaces appear a little muddy, especially in bathrooms and kitchens where white finishes are common. A clinical or sterile atmosphere may be achieved by using a cooler shade of white in the bathroom or kitchen. A room's most important rule is to avoid introducing too many different color temperatures into the space. Choose a color temperature and stay with it. Make sure all the lights and light bulbs in that area are the same. If you know the bulb or fixture CCT, you will know exactly what kind of white light you are going to get. Colors may be represented by various Kelvin temperatures, and for example 2000 kelvins to 3500 kelvins looks more orange and yellow, and it is called ultra warm or warm white. And as temperature increases in kelvins, color change to more of a paper white, known as natural or neutral white. It is between 3500 kelvins and 5100 kelvins. And finally, into a blush white, known as cool white, is between 5100 kelvins to 20,000 kelvins. PPI, or pixels per inch, is the standard unit of measurement for picture resolution, and it relates to the number of pixels shown per inch of an image. The more pixels per inch, or PPIs, there are, the higher the resolution and the more information each pixel contains, resulting in a clearer, higher quality picture. There are fewer pixels in low resolution images, and when those pixels grow too big, they might become apparent. It's a way of telling the computer how many pixels to put in each inch of a picture. To put it another way, a picture with a resolution of 600 ppi has 600 pixels per inch. Images with a resolution of 600 pixels per inch will seem sharp and detailed due to the high pixel density. In comparison, a picture with 72 ppi has much fewer pixels per inch than an image with 96 ppi. As you can expect, the picture won't be as crisp as the original at 600 ppi. Larger light sources at the right produce softer shadows, whereas smaller light sources on the left produce harsher shadows. A photo's composition is the arrangement of its elements. Compositions might have a wide variety of components, or they can contain simply a few. What makes a photograph more or less appealing to the viewer is the artist's placement of these elements within the frame. Composition refers to the arrangement of the various pieces in the frame. There is a list of more than 20 methods widely used in photography, but the rule of thirds is the most important rule of composition and symmetry, followed by the rule of centering and the rule of symmetry. Foreground interest and depth are also important, as are leading lines and patterns. Obviously, it's taught to remember and follow all of these compositional standards. However, it's a good idea to try to utilize one or two of them every time you go out for a stroll. It's possible to set up a picture shoot in which you hunt for circumstances where you may apply the concept of a frame inside a frame. A lot of these rules will become second nature to you after a while. They will become second nature to you, and you won't even have to think about them anymore. For the most part, the term 3D photography refers to photography in which two photographs are taken and shown in such a way that they make 3D images. When you place two photographs together in the same distance as your eyes, you get the effect.